Sonoff, the brand whose name is pretty much a derivative of Smart On-Off, have just dropped perhaps their strangest product yet, the BMT01 Smart Meat Thermometer. So let's give it a try. So let's start off by opening up the box and see what we have inside. The first thing we find is the main unit of the thermometer itself, with a neat little loop for hanging it up. We've got the inputs for the meat probes on the side, a stand which I couldn't get out on the back, and not much else. Then we have some sort of metal bracket and a magnetic hook. And all that's left inside now is a bag for storing it in, which also has the meat probes, and some documentation, which I'm obviously not going to read unless I need to. So the next thing to do is open up the eWeLink app, open up the battery compartment, and pull the tab out, and see if we can get the device paired. Luckily it comes with some AAA batteries, so first I'll put the app into pairing mode, pull out the tab, and see if we can get it paired. Now, full disclosure, it didn't pair the first time for some reason, so I just pressed and held the orange button on the side for about 5 seconds to turn it off and back on again, which then put it into pairing mode, and it connected to my phone straight away. With the device now paired, I can click through and give the device a name and select the room I want it in as usual, and it's added. So the next step is to unwrap one of the probes, plug it into the side of the device, and see if it registers a temperature, which it does. Once I've pulled off the cap and wrap my hand around, you'll see the temperature slowly climb, and we can tap into the thermometer, which connects after a few seconds and allows you to do a few clever things. So you can set a target temperature at which it will alert you, and it's even got a bunch of presets. So if I select beef, I can select medium or medium rare, and now it's going to warn me in the app when the device reaches the target temperature. But it does warn you at the top to keep it open on this screen so that it updates as regularly as possible. So here I am, ready to pan fry some chicken breast, which I probably wouldn't ordinarily do unless I knew how cooked the inside was going to be, which thanks to this meat probe, I know. I've got the app all set up, ready for cooking poultry, so it knows what temperature to alert me at when the middle of the chicken is all cooked. So let's put some in and get it cooking. I'm going to place the probe into the largest part, make sure that's right in there. As we can see, the temperature immediately starts to climb. Might be too far in. I'm going to know the temperature right in the middle there. And so I'm keeping the app open on this screen so that it can keep me updated live with the temperature. And the beauty of this is I can now go away and come back once the app has notified me of the target temperature in the center of the chicken. A quick and important note is that there are 4 probe inputs on this device, so you can probe separate things all at once, which is great. But I only initially spotted the holes on the right hand side and plugged it into probe slot 3. When I was viewing probe slot 1, I couldn't see the temperature live. Well, that's because I plugged it into the wrong hole. So up here is number 1, 2, 3 and 4. Make sure you are viewing the appropriate probe on the app and that you have got the alarm and notification set for the appropriate input. And now that I have the correctly selected probe input, I can now see the temperature live and clear in the app. There we go, the chicken is just coming up to its target temperature on both the digital display, and as you can see here in the app, it's given me the 10-degree pre-alert warning that I requested in the app, which is super handy. And there we have it. Target temperature has been reached, so I can now turn off the hob and serve it up. And what I haven't worked out is how I'm going to remove the probe. Cut into the meat and have a quick look inside. And if you can see there, we have some hopefully perfectly cooked chicken. And considering the fact that this is not a cooking channel, I don't think that was bad going. So now that I've used it, what do I think? Well, it's a pretty complete product. I really like the fact that it has cooked temperatures for pretty much everything built in, so I don't need to go and research the target temperature of what I'm cooking. I can just pop the probe in and select the appropriate meat, and I'm away. And you can alternatively set time-based alerts too. There are also several thoughtful features built in, like a pre-temperature warning, so you can be warned 5, 10 or 15 degrees Celsius before the meat is done, to give you some time to get out and check on it. There are also configurable per probe offsets for temperature too, in case you find the calibration to be slightly off for whatever reason. You can also get a live chart of the temperature across the cook so far, which I think is a really nice touch. Now, the thermometer itself is not temperature resistant, so it does need to be kept away from the heat, and the probes are wired, making it tricky to use in closed cookers. But they do provide 2 probes in the box, so you can either monitor 2 separate meats, or you can use the second to keep an eye on the internal temperature of the oven using the provided stand, which is what it turns out this was, which is also pretty clever. But despite all of this, I cannot see any recommendation of how you actually clean the probes, so I just used soapy water and gave it plenty of time to dry. Overall, I think Sonoff have produced a really well thought out product, apart from one minor thing. I really wish it would connect directly to my smart home, so that I could automatically stop cooking at the desired temperature, even on my oven which doesn't have a timer. And I could also do my own custom alerts based on the temperature. I would have had a lot of fun automating the light across the top of my cabinet to change colour as the temperature changed. But beyond that, all that's left to say is thank you to Sonoff for sending me your amazing new meat thermometer, and my wife thanks you for sending me a new gadget which gets me wanting to cook. As always, if you want to pick one up for yourself, head on over to my website. The link will be on there as soon as it's available. And remember, home is where the smart is.